Never yield ground. It is cheaper to hold what you have than to retake what you have lost. Never permit a unit to dig in until the final objective is reached. Then dig, wire, and mine. So you can't rest until you get to a good spot. This is a little statement I use a lot in jiu-jitsu, coaching. Because people, they get in a position and they rest before it's time to rest.
Right.
You know, you gotta get the guard back. You've got to, if someone passes your guard, you don't settle there on your back and let them settle in and start to smash you. As soon as someone passes your guard, you're recovering. You don't settle down until you're back to a good position.
Yeah,
you can never do that.
I noticed that, and I actually brought it up to you. Remember last week or whatever when we rolled, and I was like, "There's something that I noticed about you that." And that was that in the scramble, you won't just settle and hang out in my guard. You don't even accept the guard. And we talked about it a long time ago before, but it was really, for whatever reason, just really prevalent that day. That, in the scramble, scramble goes on for, let's say, a longer time. Let's say the scramble goes on for 6 seconds, right? It's a pretty long scramble. So it seems like you still wouldn't even stop the scramble until you're beyond the guard. You know? You won't just hang out. I'll sit right in that guard and get my rest on.
Yeah.
But and it's surprisingly painfully effective.
Yeah.
When you do that.
I was talking to Dean about that yesterday. If Dean is in a mindset where he's accepting a guard pass or he's accepting it becomes a much, much, much easier game. Yeah. When he decides he's not going to let you settle until he gets to the advantageous position, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Because he won't stop moving, and he's a good scrambler.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's interesting about these? I have a note in here that, he said never yield ground, never permit a unit to dig in. He says never. And that's something that I don't say.
Right.
Because it takes away the fact of what he said earlier about there's no written rule, there's no approved method.
Right.
You shouldn't use that word never, because sometimes you should yield ground.
Right.
And sometimes you should dig in even when the final objective is. So I know he's just being extreme, but it is. I did make a note of that to point out